Welcome to another mini business reading. This is a little behind the scenes thing I do with my clients. Even though we usually focus on productivity coaching, we can also see a lot of interesting business things like positioning and messaging stuff in their charts. So I just want them to have this so they can have fun, look at it, maybe lean into it, compare what they're doing against it. So today we're doing a 2-4 generator named Kendall. We've already done a 2-4 generator named Kayla. The only difference between Kendall and Kayla is Kayla is mostly left brain and Kendall is mostly right brain. So this is a right brain 2-4 generator, Kendall, who is a teacher. Let's see what her chart says. So Kendall's role in the workplace is to teach other people how to champion others' dreams. You can totally see this as a teacher. Like she's helping people and helping other teachers learn how to teach better, even because she's such a master teacher. And she is able to do so effectively when she becomes aware of all the ways that the shadow of selfish manipulation has shown up in her life, and she chooses to use those experiences as a gift instead of being a victim to them. So, like what she went through, she realized she could manipulate other people for her own gain. And then she's learned, instead of doing that, I could manipulate them, lead them for their own good. I could see that they could get their own dreams. They could get them finally for themselves. Ooh, okay. That is like the integrity way of using this, right? So her special sauce is not only is she just this master teacher and she can help you step into the leadership and revealing other people's dreams and abilities, she helps you develop discernment and learn to use your influence with integrity. So we've all heard like teachers and mentors can play a huge role in someone's life. So she's like, I want you to learn how to use it with your classroom, with your kids, well, for the good, and develop discernment. That could be around your team, teachers, and your principal, particular students, and you're like, I think there's something going on with your parents, stuff like that. And that is her special sauce, her blue ocean, what sets her apart from any other master experienced teacher. Okay. And then what people might not expect when they are working with her and co-teaching and leading with her is how she prioritizes experiencing life. So this teacher, you're going to find her attending the students' games and being out and about and doing things and hobbies and run into her loves. Like she's experiencing life. She's not one-dimensional. Okay. So again, since you're a teacher, and I'm assuming you're in person, not online, this may not play into so much like online brand content, but if you have anything like that, I want you to hit championing dreams, discernment, using influence with integrity, and experiencing life. Okay. Now, this teaching job becomes a source of prosperity. It gets money for you. When you let yourself get experience over time, in other words, when you focus on getting even better at solving the teaching problems, teaching the kids to read or learn to write papers and pass their math tests, whatever it is. So, in other words, and you just like, I'm sticking to teaching. I get better and better and better and better and better. And you work through those stages of early teacher and just out of school and the middle years and the master teacher years, which is exactly what you've done. You've been doing this for a long time. So good for you. And your unique angle as a teacher is finding the essence. You don't just like teach everything. When it comes to each lesson, you're automatically being like, okay, so what's the one thing the kid needs to know? You're distilling it. And interestingly, you also have a brand. You're really interested in aesthetics. So you convey that, find the essence when you pay attention to how things are presented. That could be your image as a teacher. I'm kind of guessing maybe it's your teaching materials. You might have like really like to go out and print and laminate certain things and make sure it's all like really high quality stuff being used in your classroom. Um, Possibly just an idea that your Kendall's, Mrs. Kendall's class always does this, like has a specific look to it, specific kinds of things you put on your walls because you feel like that brand is really elevating and helps people narrow in on the essence. Okay. So you don't overcomplicate, you don't slather your walls with absolutely everything. You go, what is the essence? And that's what you put up. And that's how your aesthetics go. And it's all arranged in a very pleasing way to you. So how your classroom looks is very important to you. Now, you make yourself visible as a teacher when you initiate profound change. I'm guessing that could be like with your kids or how their scores move up. Like you may be pioneer totally different styles of teaching the certain subject. That makes you very visible among your fellow teachers in your districts, okay? And then the reason you picked teaching in the first place is because you embraced your unique talent as children in leadership and bringing out their abilities. Said, I'm going to do this. Teaching will let me do this. And then the higher purpose behind your career choice was acting according to your principles. I know what you shared with me is you used to be like insurance, and you're like, these people are totally going against family values. I don't like this. I've got to find a career that I can be supporting families and my own family and other people's families. And that led you to teaching. The lessons you learned along the way in your multi-decade career are about resilience and a strong sense of self. That's what the chart says. So I want you to bring that out. It may be unconsciously coming out in your just the history and the stories you tell to your co-teachers, but bring that out. You know exactly who you are, and you are very, very resilient. Doesn't matter what kind of class they give you. Doesn't matter if someone else is a really brilliant magnetic teacher about a specific thing and you aren't. You can stick to who you are and what you know. You always get back. And the thing you always are liking to talk about with your pupils, with their parents, with your other teachers is how you always have to adapt, like adapt to fit the kid, adapt to fit the climate, with realism. Like, but what's realistic here? You're not necessarily like a pie in the sky, go after your dreams person. You're more like, okay, well, you want to actually get there? Okay, well, you need to go to this college. And I think from your grades, you're going to need the community college. So we need you to pass Algebra 2. And let's try some of these techniques. Those ones haven't worked before, so let's try these ones, right? It's willingness to adapt and realism. Powerful combo. Now, the people you want to work with need to have these values. So this could be your school district, could be whoever you're co-teaching with. It could be the parents who just love you or something like that. Magnetic alignment, so people who believe in doing what they love. So if they're co-teachers, like they're not in teaching because they like, this is about the only thing I can, earn a living at. They're like, I love teaching. And then embracing all aspects of life. You're not sitting there being like, okay, prim and proper, Bailey rules, immediate hand up. Yes, Mrs. Kendall. No, Mrs. Kendall. You want to help them in all parts of their life, okay? And then your people appreciate your deep commitment. So I'm guessing this might be like your parents, could be your principals, something like that. They know you're deeply committed to their children and helping maximize them, and they so appreciate that. So you do have a tendency towards half-heartedness. That's your signal that you're getting off course. So ground, recenter yourself anytime, because again, your gift is that commitment. And interestingly, that commitment is most felt when you operate as part of a team where you lead a team well because you are very gifted in maximizing the gifts of a team and optimizing group chemistry. So this is really handy because usually there's a teacher and the other teachers and so on and so forth. So I'm going to bet you might even be a lead teacher, or you operate really well supporting a lead teacher, stuff like that. So lean into the fact that you're not just on your own in your own class. Try to do team things, okay? Or try to lead something. Now, before 40, you helped people, so I don't know, maybe parents or whatever, who viewed life as opportunity for growth. They wanted their kids to grow or whatever. After 40, you're helping people who want to align with natural time. I don't know if you do anything in the special ed world, but this could also align with that. If you're like, yeah, your kid's 3 grade levels behind in reading, but I really feel like I've seen this cognitive thing click into place. They are now ready really concentratedly work on get some tutoring for this. I don't think they're ready before, but they are ready now. So I would suggest these resources for, something like that. Because natural timing and being able to learn and take in something is really key as a teacher. So I think you know how to spot that. And the people who really value your skills now are the people who are like, yes, but I want to know when the kid needs it. I want to force them into stuff on grade level. Okay. Now, how you level up in your career, how you hit any of your get raises, hit milestones, commitment. People see how committed you are to those kids, to your teaching craft. You're like, of course, I'm keeping that person. And then the specific money-making gift you have is leaning into understanding. You are so good. It was just like listening, understanding, giving them presence, empathy, right? So the flip side is tolerance. You certainly have opinions. That's something to recenter yourself if you ever notice intolerance. But again, your money-making gift is understanding people. You're so good at understanding the kids. And again, anytime you get intolerant, you're going to block channel money to you. Now, what you're supposed to do with money is be of service and give freely to your tribe. So I want you to play fairy godmother, Mrs. Kendall. I want you to gift a laptop to a kid who his parents are poor and they're never going to buy one for him. I want you to, gift a prom dress to a girl who's been helping you. And you're like, yeah, I know. She doesn't have anything. She's going to go to Goodwill and hope she finds something. No, we're going to give her this. You get to play fairy godmother. Enjoy it. That's how you're going to get more money, is when God, the universe sees that you are receiving, giving, receiving, giving, receiving, giving. Okay. Now, abilities. You have superpowers, a deep connection to and trust in the natural rhythms of life and in an innate sense of timing. So that's where that natural rhythm piece comes in that we talked about earlier. Also, a natural genius that sees the world through a unique lens and has the ability to conceptualize and translate the viewpoint with clarity for those who are willing to listen. So again, you're a master teacher precisely because of this unique viewpoint, right? And when your students are ready to listen, that hits them. Finally, I get this. Like, you're the teacher people go to. They try to move their kids to your class. They're like, no one else has succeeded in teaching them this thing. Whether it's, third grade or fifth grade or ninth grade. I'm not sure which age you teach, but they know you're the person who's going to be able to make it click and get that concept through because of this natural genius. And then centers. You're very high in certain centers because those are what you were here to do. So God gave those to you. So very high in expression of thoughts and ideas, whether it's communication. So really, really, really high in communication. So if you think about it, teaching, you're constantly coming up with new ways to say things. You're constantly producing materials for them, analogies. It's very communication heavy. So anything you can do, like go ahead and create additional resources based on communication for them, like lean into that. You're very, very, very gifted in this area. You're also very high in the amount of energy for work. So I know people, you mentioned in your intake questionnaire, sometimes people are like, oh, you're just a workaholic, you're at work way too long. You go in on the weekends, you go in summer break. Well, actually, you're meant to do that. You have a lot of physical energy for work, so the tidying up the classroom, the laminating stuff yourself, like you're not leaving it all for the aide, like you're doing it, and the amount of time we're spending on it, you have that battery to use up. You want to use up that battery, so you're very, very high in that. It's okay that working with kids takes a lot out of you because you have so much to give, right? And nobody's doing making like that. And then you're also fairly high in knowing what you're here to do or adapting to different careers and helping others grow into this life purpose or adapt to different careers. So in other words, people who are like, I feel like I failed. I didn't know what I was going to do right off, or I couldn't get there. You're very good at reworking and helping them come up with a plan B because you had to do that. You started in insurance, you moved to teaching. It was not your plan A. And so you have learned how to cope with that. Now, the other thing is environment. So your chart says that the environment that is going to set your nervous system at ease, where your best ideas are going to come, where the right opportunities are going to find you, all that team stuff, is when you're in walkable spaces with people to keep tabs on and chat with. Sounds kind of like a school, right? You're always running down to the office, to the teacher's break room. You probably want to live somewhere that you've got like stores you can walk to and, hiking trails and just stuff like that. That is where you're going to find the most ideas for the leadership involved with the children you're teaching and co-working like with your team or leading your team of teachers. You're also someone who you probably enjoy moving to new states, fond of traveling, you like hitting different things on your road trip. Like lean into that. You want variety. You always want people to like chat with, and you always know the latest gossip and stuff. It's okay. It's actually good. Okay. You are meant to be that totally chatty, tapped in teacher. All right, so this was our second 2-4 generator, but a very right arrow generator named Kendall, who is a master teacher. And I hope you enjoyed this look at a behind the scenes mini business audit.